Go ahead, Kobe. Start us off. Making eye contact and everything. Thank you, boys. I think that's probably the best intro to the SledSend podcast we've ever had. Shout out to Kobe and Justin. Thank you, boys.
Hey, are you concerned about protecting that brand new pretty sled that you just got? Here's the solution. Use SledSend24 for a 15% off discount code on some backwoods bumpers, the industry leader in performance protection.
Well, SledSend listeners, welcome to the next episode of the show. We are currently shacked up here at the Aspen Creek. Yes, Aspen Creek Lodge here in northern Idaho for the first ever SledSend ride. So we have some of the giveaway winners posted up here with us. We've got Lane, Aaron, and Cole. Welcome on to the show, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, it's been a great time.
Yeah, cool. Good. Yeah, we'll get into that stuff. Why don't we start off with some introduction stuff? So, Cole, starting off with you, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Cole Keatts. Done a lot of racing in cars, razors, kind of all sorts of stuff. Grown up in Lewiston, Idaho, so about 2 hours south of here. Snowmobiling was my main passion. That was fun. Like, it wasn't a profession for me. It was just something I could go do on the weekends. My family grew up doing it. Rode a lot in McCall, Idaho, and kind of got used to that. And that's just something that's always fun, always good. It's sweet to have a group like this come out and ride and just kind of share the same passion and all have the same skills towards it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. How old are you?
22.
22. So are you racing professionally, or do you have a job, or what's?
It's all over the board. I used to be way more professionally. Now I make the joke that I'm washed up a little bit. But work for my parents back home. We sell and rent heavy equipment.
Okay.
And then, but also helps me out where I can travel 8 to 10 times a year racing all over.
Okay. Yeah, you just, before this event, you were just down in California, right?
Yeah, I came from California, raced a razor down there at King of the Hammers, which is a big rock crawl desert race down there. And then after tomorrow, fly to New Zealand for a boat race.
A boat race in New Zealand?
Yeah. We run sprint boats, so it's like a closed track that's kind of dug through about 4 feet deep a channel.
Yeah.
And you're just going Mach 10 for about 40 to 50 seconds, and it's just on kill. So we do a bunch of races down there too, because it's obviously their summertime down there.
Yeah.
So.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Huh. Well, Aaron, a little bit about you.
Yeah, I'm from Kalispell, Montana. I've been sledding this is my 5th year. And yeah, just got into it kind of as a hobby, got an old sled and just started ripping around and definitely got hooked and still started the obsession. You know?
Yeah, for sure. How old are you?
31.
31. And you have a gutter business?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, do
good.
gutters.
How long you been doing that for?
For about 5 years.
Wow. Lane, let the listeners know who you are.
Lane Hillman from Victor, Idaho, 25. Got into sledding about 11 years ago and grew up in South Dakota, so we hit the hills a lot, like the Black Hills. From there, we went to like Laramie, Wyoming, then, expanded to like Togety, Colorado, and then ended up meeting my wife on a sledding trip, actually.
Really?
Yeah, so she kind of brought me into Victor, Idaho, and she's like, I have all of these people like kind of in my back pocket, like it could give you an in for snowmobiling, and I kind of ran with it, like moved down there and then met some amazing people in the industry, and it's kind of brought me where I'm at today.
Nice. And you're the only Arctic guy up here.
Yep, only cat guy.
Got to rep him.
Yep.
Well, cool. So first off, I want to say thank you to the three of you guys for participating in the giveaway. What was your guys' initial reaction when I sent you guys a DM that you won?
I was like, is this for real or is this kind of a joke? Like, it just seemed so nonchalant. And I'm like, we're actually going to go ride with the guys that I've followed on Instagram. Like, Ponzer's dude that I've followed for a long time, seeing him ride and stuff. And listen to your guys' podcasts all the time when we're driving and stuff. And so I was stoked. I'm like, let's go. Like, I don't care. I'll make it work. I'll be there no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I was kind of saying, like, kind of blown away, like, holy crap, I actually won something, you know? Like, so, I was stoked to see, like, when the giveaway happened, I was like, shoot, Coeur d'Alene. I was like, I can make that trip. That's not that far, so.
Yeah, because how far is Kalispell?
It's 3.5 hour drive here. So.
Yeah, that's the same for us. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, well, not bad.
Unlike Justin Wick that drove 26 hours to be here with us this weekend. And Lane, what was your initial reaction?
I was at home, and then, like, my wife was sitting on the couch, and I just started screaming. I was like, I actually won something for once. I was like, I never win anything ever at all, and so I was, like, super stoked on it and, like, you know, just keeping up to date with you guys and, like, what was going on and stuff like that. So I was super stoked on winning this whole deal. So thanks for putting it on.
Yeah, of course.
All of you guys.
It was just kind of an idea, and Kobe. It was just an idea, and you know, a lot of people do giveaways in the industry, and we kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. So I was like, let's do something for free, and let's pick multiple people. So yeah, again, appreciate you guys being here. If you guys win the next one, would you come back?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great time.
Yeah. So today was kind of a interesting day. There were some curveballs thrown at the group. If you could take, I was asking Kobe this when we got back in the trailer, if you could take one word to describe today, what word would you use?
Lemonade out of lemons.
Honestly, it's so generic, but I would say fun, just because like how this group worked, and even though we didn't have the greatest conditions, we were all trying to thrash, get everything figured out. Obviously, I had some mechanical stuff too, and still came out. It was like I had a blast today, and it was just unreal riding. This group's over the top. Like, I knew I was in for a handful of, I'm probably gonna be the worst guy out here, and I'm accepting it. But just watching these guys and just learning honestly from how you guys kind of perspectives, and Jaden and Hayden were unreal to watch riding too, and so it's super cool to see.
Yeah,
I would say enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Between like actually riding sleds, it was like enthusiastic. That everyone here is enthusiastic. Like, it's awesome. Like, it's that's the word I would say is enthusiastic.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, today was a lot of fun. But for me, I think I enjoyed this more, like hanging out in the lodge, eating the chef's food, and get to know all you guys. It's been a good time. Tomorrow, it sounds like Jaden's taking us to a different location, and it snowed all day, so hopefully we'll have some fresh tomorrow. It was a little rough, the snow.
Some fresh snow will be nice and needed.
So you race rally cars also?
Yeah, that's what I first started in off-road racing. It's like a go-kart, but it has a roll cage on it, and with a 450cc engine in it. And that's what you do as a kid. And then once you turn 16, you kind of choose your way you're going. And Red Bull picked me up, put me in a rally car overseas, raced over in Europe for a couple of years, raced for different teams in the U.S. It used to be called GRC, and then it was ARX, which is America's Rallycross. And then kind of just did all sorts of stuff. I mean, if it has four wheels on it, I've tried to race it, you know? Yeah. Like, I'll take a shopping cart for all I care about. But it was a lot of fun. It's something that not every kid got the opportunity to do. I mean, I was 16 years old when I went overseas, and I just want to take every opportunity I got and just keep going for it. And that's why I love snowmobiling, though, too, is just because it's something totally different that I can go do myself and have fun with it. But I also am racing overseas and racing in the U.S. kind of deal. And that's kind of the stress, like, building, and kind of tension start getting high on that stuff. And then once you get back on your sled, you're just stoked to relax and just have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How'd you get into the razors?
So friends of mine own Walker Evans, or used to own Walker Evans Racing. So we build all the shocks for Polaris, razors, snowmobiles, general stuff like that. And I dropped out of college in U of A and moved in with that family, Andersons, and started working for Walker, building shocks just on the assembly line. And then they were also a cool company that let me do my racing and stuff. And then they're obviously really close with Polaris. Then Polaris gave me the opportunity to run for them for a little bit, and just on the razor side of things. And then just also I do more of like co-dog navigating stuff, and that's what they kind of send me down to do, and just kind of travel over a lot of Baja stuff down in Mexico, and then races in the U.S. around here.
And what's the future of that look like for you? You gonna keep doing that for a while, or?
Yeah, I honestly burned myself out. We were racing 40 to 45 weekends a year, and I mean, you only got 52 of them, so
Yeah.
it was a toll.
And
on
you're here for one of them.
Yeah. So it was a toll on my family growing up, kind of deal of Dad and I were on the road 24/7, and Mom would come to the big races and stuff, and I just kind of wanted to take a step back and relax for a little bit, and so I decided to move back home to Lewiston and work for my parents. We do all the marketing and social media stuff for them. They, like I said, rent and sell heavy equipment. But I still have, luckily they're cool enough that they let me still travel around and do certain big races and stuff like that, where all my friends, I mean, growing up, that was my high school friends.
Okay.
I lived on the road. I went to like a private charter school, and so I just basically was on the road. I lived in Sweden for 3 months of the year. Like, the school was really cool with me and helping do all my stuff online. My teachers were one-on-one, and so it just kind of all worked around that.
My gosh.
Yeah, I did some gnarly stuff. Yeah, that's why I say I'm washed up at 22.
Yeah. So Aaron, how did you originally get introduced to snowmobiling? Because you had said that you were kind of new.
Yeah.
Last few years here. Or?
I was moving back to Montana. Like, I grew up there and moved away, and my dad had just bought 2 Mountain Maxes, and he's like, "Man, we gotta get in. You gotta get a sled, and we'll just go out like screw skiing, Let's get some sleds." So I just got like a 09 Skidoo and just started riding and forcing that thing into side hills and stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, I want to get a new sled and start try to push this." And I love the challenge of it, and just like the freedom of picking any line and uphill, downhill, just everywhere you go, it can be a fun time. So
what are you currently riding on right now?
I got
2 sleds with you, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a 22 Chaos Boost 155, and then NA Chaos 146.
Is that what you're going to be on tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to take mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's the right snow for it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? I want to take a quick second to introduce another one of this year's sponsors. We have RSI. So the handlebar setup on your sled is arguably probably one of the most important components on your whole setup. So definitely check out their site. They've got a ton of different products, and use SledSend 24 at checkout for a discount.
Lane, somebody had said that you spend a lot of time riding with Riley Kincaid.
Yeah, like we kind of got into riding a little bit. Like, I started, I think, 2 years ago. Like, I went on one ride with him, and then like I got into rimshot racing. So like me and him were seeing each other a lot. I ended up like traveling to races with him, and then like this year we've been riding a lot together, like backcountry, and then going to practice. Like, we're just kind of the duo that we just got together and started riding.
Nice, there you go. And you're currently racing rimshot this season too?
Yep. So first race is next week.
Didn't one just get canceled?
Yeah, so they pushed it back to next week, and then we have Afton right after that. So, like basically like last year I only went up to Jackson. Like, I did all the races to Jackson, then did Jackson, and then this year I'm like hopefully planning on doing every single race, like even after Jackson.
How many classes are you?
So I'll be in 4 classes. So I'll be 600 stock, 600 improved, 700 stock, 700 improved.
Oh my gosh, that's a couple sleds.
Yeah, we got 3.
Okay, yeah. What was your initial reaction to the Catalyst chassis when that came out?
I was actually really impressed with it. Like, it doesn't feel like a 600. Like, I was on a 21 800, and I still have it now. It's actually out in the garage right now.
Yeah, why is it in the garage?
Oh,
Tell us what happened today.
Oh, we basically got back to the truck, and we had the spider on my primary kind of like basically unscrewed itself, so it kind of popped the clutch off, and so I'm just throwing a new clutch in and then once I get home, I'll put that one back together. But the Catalyst chassis, I would say, for the weight that they pulled off the sled, and then the overall like complete change in the whole chassis itself, other than like the monorail. It handles like way better. And at the end of the day, like you don't feel like if you're backcountry riding it, you don't feel tired at the end of the day. Like you feel like it can keep going. And I think it has a lot to do with like the chassis that they set up for that.
Speaking
as
like
far
an
as
Articat rep.
And then as far as like the 600 engine, I think it's like way underlooked. Like it'll keep up with an 800 all day long. Like I've been out with, Polaris boosts, Ski-Doo, turbos, 9Rs, 850s. Like, I mean, it'll hang right there. Of course, it doesn't have like, the power of one, but it'll hang all day with one. So it's cool because you can take it out there and be with all these other guys, and they're running the big power, and to be able to keep up with them, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have an 858 on the way?
Not yet, but I'm hoping I can get my hands on one or two of them.
Yeah. Has Riley had one? Because I know that so we were in Sealy, and Kyle, he just said that there was only 3 of them that were out, but 2 of them were like in the shop.
So
I didn't know if Riley had his hands on one yet or anything. Or?
From what I know, they all were riding them in Island Park for like the photo shoot.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't think Dave and Riley have one right now.
Okay.
But
gotcha. So Aaron, I know that you have taken a clinic, and we'll touch on that, but have either of you taken a riding clinic from anybody?
I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
No. Okay. So you went to Proven Progression with Kosterky 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah. And so what was your, because it's been brought up, I think Jose, he asked the question to the listeners, like out of all of the different, riding clinics that there are, which one would you choose to, if money wasn't a factor, distance wasn't a factor, whatever. And so we've just talked about it before, but what was your initial reasoning to sign up and get a clinic in the first place?
I just wanted to get, getting into it kind of out of the blue, not having guys to like show me how to, get to the next level of riding. Like start climbing hills and you start side hilling and stuff. But to like start doing hopovers and start doing bow ties and start just like feeling more confident getting into new zones. It's like you kind of need to get in with someone that is at that level and can kind of give you pointers, tell you what you need to do different. And I just watching Kosterky on YouTube and stuff. It's like, frick, this guy can make it happen. So if anyone can teach
He's kind of a good rider, I
guess. So it definitely distance played a factor. I mean, it's 2 hours away from me. So super convenient. And it's just me and a buddy were like, dude, let's just do it and make it happen. So booked it, and it was awesome. Like you definitely came out feeling way more confident, like coming into stuff. Like,
yeah. What were some of your biggest takeaways other than just the confidence alone? But
a lot of like, cause I did an advanced clinic, so I was like learning hopovers and bow ties and stuff, and just the weight placement coming in and your approach on stuff, and you're, not knowing what you're doing, you come into stuff and you think you're doing it right, and having someone that actually knows, like, hey, you're throwing your weight too soon, like hesitate for a second, then give it throttle, like don't just, so those little pointers that just take a super long time to get, like, to figure out on your own, and like having someone who knows what they're doing, definitely like helps you. Yeah,
learn from somebody that's already made all the mistakes, and they can just give you the shortcut to accomplish said task.
Yeah.
Right on. And so the 3 of you have never met prior to this weekend?
No.
Okay. Do you guys, after spending, the last night and then riding today and stuff, do you guys have any questions for each other or any topics? Or
I don't know. Like I said, from the whole group perspective too, it's cool just to see everyone's different. Like I have my group that I ride with, and that's just, we all understand, already know what everyone's kind of anticipating, how they kind of approach everything. And then you see these 2 show up, and it's like, whoa, like what are we doing here? I think Lane probably threw over 40 bow ties out there in a row.
Yeah, he did.
So it was really cool. And then also we made a plan to go back, regroup kind of. And then Aaron goes, you want to go down here with me? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm in. So it's super cool meeting these guys, and obviously they're down to earth guys that you can just have a normal conversation with, and you just feel chill. Like it's not like you're at this PR event that I don't know what to say to these people.
Yeah.
It's just down to earth kind of guys.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think, one of my favorite things about the sledding industry, because obviously we all have this obsession in common, and the majority of the people in the industry are just good old boys, you know, so it's pretty easy to connect, I feel, with a lot of us. Do you guys have any questions or
Yeah, just on that, like me and Lane were actually talking about that driving here. Like, it's so cool with sledding because you can just, like, pretty much everyone you meet is just so open to share information, is just like there to help you. Like, everyone is just super, like, friendly and nice to be around, and that's not very common in a lot of industries. Like, you do other stuff and
special?
Yeah, like you usually have like your tight group, and frickin' the other guys don't talk to you, you know. And it's like with sledding, everyone's always down. You always have a good time, and it's like, I mean, we all met yesterday and had a blast today, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Obviously, we can socialize even though he rides Arctic.
Yeah,
we'll throw some jokes in there once in a while, but
you have to.
No, for sure.
To be expected, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's all right. I mean, you pretty much outrode a lot of us anyways.
For sure.
Me, for sure.
Not yet. No, I want to do some suspension stuff and set that up for tomorrow maybe, but yeah. I'm just so used to, like, it's kind of cool, like, getting back to your point, like, just seeing everyone's different riding styles, like, and, you know, kind of getting put into different scenarios today. Like, I'm used to tree riding all the time, and that's why my suspension is just the way it is. Like, meant to climb and not do like bow ties and wheelies and stuff like that. So it's like, it's kind of fun to like throw different stuff in there, like go tree ride, like today where we're at, like go tree riding, find some open stuff, do some bow ties, do wheelies, do like whatever you want, just kind of mess around. So
yeah. So with the rimshot stuff, how much time do you actually get to go play in the backcountry? Your schedule pretty booked?
Not as much as I would like. Like usually, like during the week, if you have any time, it's like I might schedule some, you know, clients and stuff like that. And then after that, like you're going out at maybe 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock practicing till dark. And then it's, you know, weekend comes and it's race time, or you're traveling 2 races on Thursdays, sometimes getting back on Monday night or Sunday night. Like then it's back to work for a little bit and then practicing. Like, so your backcountry time kind of gets cut back a lot.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned work. I forgot to ask you. You have a window tinting company?
Yep. Started that last April. So I'm coming up on a year in business with doing window tinting. So I do like residential, commercial, and automotive.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tyler with SledSend. Wanted to take a second of your guys' time and ask for your guys' support for what we're doing with the brand of SledSend. So if you guys are enjoying, you know, the podcast episodes with all the different guests, the tour videos and such, check out SledSend.com. We have a variety of different merch. Every order comes with air fresheners and stickers. And like I said, we appreciate your guys' support. We need it to continue to do this. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
So this is actually, I think, probably the first episode that we've shot that we've ever had an audience here with us. Are there any of you that are in the audience that have any questions or thoughts or comments for the guests? No? There's 10 of you in here?
All just staring at us.
No? Shay, you've always got something to say. For the event? Did you guys hear that? Did you hear, Aaron, what he asked?
The biggest takeaway from
or expectation for the event?
Yeah, I kind of was expecting something like this. I think a big highlight's been the food. It's been pretty stinking awesome. Like coming back from sledding and having those tacos today was pretty sweet.
Yeah. You?
I was just kind of blown away about the whole thing. Like, obviously, like when we have 14 guys today.
Yeah, I think there was 14. Out there.
Yeah, we had 14 guys at age. It was like rampages, like every man for himself. Like once we scattered, we were like, I don't know, like little ants on a freaking anthill. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, like the food's been awesome. The people have been awesome. Like, even though it's like almost spring-like conditions, I've had a blast. And that's what I think.
Yeah, honestly, the weather wasn't ideal at all. Obviously, Idaho's season, it sounds like everywhere's season's kind of been very short this year and kind of not so much snow. But my expectation was, I honestly told myself, I'm like, you're not going to be a great rider compared to these guys. Like, these guys are riding all the time. Like, they're showing way cooler tricks, like riding just a lot more. But I wanted to learn. Like, it was cool. I sat on lower hillside for a little bit just watching Kobe attempt to throw. I don't know what he was doing. And then Jaden would come in.
I don't think any of us know what he's doing, ever.
But then Jaden would come in. And it's just like watching the technique, honestly. Like, now learning about these clinics and stuff, like I for sure would love to take something like that. But just kind of learning from what I'm seeing from my own eyes. But just seeing how Jaden would throw the sled around, and also Hayden, it's unreal how they just make the sled do absolutely whatever they want and smooth. And so that's what I kind of want to focus on more, is having a little more input, like I guess I want to say like with speed, but like forced input and making the sled do what I want, but also having the relaxed stature. Like Jaden doesn't look tense at all, and I feel like half the time I'm trying to side hill and I'm like just tightened up. Yeah. So expectation was that, but this whole trip's honestly been unreal. Like these guys are super cool. I walked in here, met I think 10 people in a row. Can't remember anyone's name off the gate, you know? Yeah. And everyone was down to earth. It's just super cool, easy to talk to, and then like I said, the food's been amazing too. So. It's been an unreal experience so far.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on some of the things that you were paying attention to and wanting to work on for yourself. Aaron, at the beginning of the season, going into it, did you have like some set goals that you wanted to try to learn, or tricks or anything that you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think my big goal for this year has to been like get more consistent with hopovers. And I feel like I'm still doing a crappy job of it, but yeah. I mean, just keep trying. Like I feel like I move 3 steps backwards every other day, but some days it just really clicks and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm finally getting it, and the next day can't do nothing. So it's just more seat time and just keep trying, you know, and it's always a good time. Like it's like, that's the good time, is like the find joy out of the struggle. Like, it's not working today, go do something else, you know?
Yeah. Lane, what about you? For goals for outside of the Rimshaw stuff, like just any of the backcountry and kind of goals or things you wanted to progress on?
I would say just, it sounds really weird, but my wife is like really into horses, and she's like telling me all the time about like how you got to feel the horse and like know what it's thinking. And it kind of correlates like with sleds. Like you got to know what your machine is, like what its capabilities are, what it's going to do, how it's going to handle. And that's one thing like I really want to get in fine tune with, is like knowing every single in and out, like whether it's like working on the sled or riding the sled, like just being one with it. Like, and just making it do what you want it to do, put it where you want it to be, and just coordinating your way.
Yeah. I think what you mentioned about the horse thing, I've only been on a horse a few times, but the connection makes sense, because like even relating it to like operating heavy equipment, like a dozer, you like operate it with your butt, right? Like you're feeling the machine. Whereas like on a snowmobile, you're obviously not sitting very much, but it's the same kind of concept. So, Jeff, how are we sitting on time? Already? Holy shit. Okay. Well, we're going to do another episode, and then I think some festivities might start. So if you guys have listened to the podcast, you guys know that at the end of every single episode, we have the guests ask the listeners and viewers a question, and then we clip it for TikTok and stuff. And the question can be about anything. But is there something that comes to mind that you guys would like to ask the listeners and the viewers?
I would say, how many listening are like trail riders or mountain riders? Like, that'd be kind of cool to know. I think like how many people are out there riding trails, and how many people are out there like mountain riding, backcountry riding, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm trying to figure out how to word it, but I want to say like how we could, I guess, more of, obviously there's groups like us out here that all like to ride, but trying to figure out your skill level. Like if you were to just straight up say, this is the skill level I'm at, and trying to, I guess, how would you ride more often with that group? Like whether, because I ride with a bunch of old people, honestly, that's what I grew up with, like my parents, stuff like that. But granted, you guys are still old to me, but thanks. But riding with you guys, like how, is there certain areas that you guys ride more often that are from listening?
Yeah, I would. One thing that would actually is like what is been consistently good for like pre-season preparation, like for injury. I tore a hammy last year and had some stuff with my shoulder and stuff this year. It's like, is there something that, you know, like what do you do to get set for the season where it's actually doable, you know, like nice amount of time, get ready for the season?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So why don't you answer it for yourself? Since you've had some injuries and stuff, like what do you?
I would say stretching would definitely help, but I'd definitely strengthen up some weak points. Like for me, hammy and shoulders, which I feel like is probably most common injuries.
Are you in the gym quite a bit, or?
Yeah, less this year. Just been super busy this year, so it's hard to just add a routine, and I'd moved this summer and had a bunch of stuff going on. So,
Gotcha. Fitness topic is always a good one to touch on. Why don't you touch on kind of your fitness regimen? I mean, racing Rimshaw and stuff, you got to be pretty dialed. What's that look like for you?
This year I was mostly focusing on, you know, resistance training. So I was in the weight room a lot. I've noticed a huge difference because last year I was basically running in the morning for an hour, and then at night I was hitting the gym doing weights, and like I kind of cut off cardio this year. I've noticed a huge difference. Like it's
Jose knows all about cardio.
But yeah, so I've just been hitting the weight room, and then I've noticed like he touches on stretching and stuff, like that's huge because like I wasn't taking the time to stretch, you know, after my workouts, even in the morning, like doing stretches, like stuff. I was having to borrow a leave from him this morning. I'm like, dude, my shoulders are killing me. But yeah, I would say like if you could, you know, even like if you are doing 20 minutes is better than nothing. Like if you're doing something, it's better than nothing.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Like the hardest thing to do is just show up.
Yeah.
Like show up for running, show up to the weight room. Like it's opening the door. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because I haven't been in the gym the last like 2 weeks. I've been slacking. But it's all, regardless of what your workout regimen is, it plays a very large factor to your performance on a sled, but there's obviously nothing in the world that you can do to like be prepared for other than actually riding a snowmobile. Like you just can't, it's not like you can train in the gym to be completely prepared for maneuvering a 500-pound sled. There's things you can do that help assist, obviously, right? But Cole, what about for you with all your different racing stuff going on?
This is going to sound awful to say, but honestly, like racing's not hard where you need to be physically built. It's not like Lane where he's hitting a hill climb and having to like yank the sled over or whatever. I go running every morning at the gym, and then, or I shouldn't say every morning, but on a normal work week, it's every morning. And I always focused on my endurance more. I never really worried as much about a build, which I don't know is correct, but that's just what I've always done because like stamina is my biggest thing. For longevity races, like this last one was 4 hours, and then one later than that is 12 hours. So you're in the car on kill for 12 hours. You just don't, like, your mind and your longevity is the biggest thing for me. So I've just always worked on endurance kind of, and that's where I feel like I'm getting better on the sled for that. But I definitely need to be hitting the gym a little more just because, like, I look like a rag doll compared to everybody else out there when I'm trying to yank the sled over. But this is how it works for me.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this episode up. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate you guys showing up to the event. and spending the time with us. And thank you guys for choosing to jump on the podcast too. Is it first time?
Yep.
For everybody?
Yep.
Nice. Hell yeah. Cool.
It was a little nerve wracking at first. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be honest. It even was for me too. Like I know everybody pretty well in this room, but like I've never had an audience kind of sitting over there. So it's interesting. Like I've done this. I think this is like episode, I don't know, 78 or 79 or whatever. And I've done it a few times, and I don't normally get like that, but I was at the beginning of this, if you couldn't tell too. So you're not alone. It's all good. But all right, well, cool. We'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. SledSend listeners, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.